What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a product review on Momentumboards all-terrain Trailblazer skateboard. Um, I know I don't think there's a review out right now, but it's a good board. I think it needs a good review, so you guys can see what it's all about. Let's get started. Alright guys, so here's the board. It's a good looking board. It's painted nice. I'm not going to go into detail on the cosmetics of it, but I did make a little list of everything that I do want to go over based on questions that people have asked me. The customer service is going to be one thing I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the battery size, the distance you can maybe expect, the different types of capacities and packs that he can put together for you. We're going to talk about the chain drive, where everything's built, where the parts are coming from, what he's designing and building, the price, of course, the tires. These are pneumatic tires, the electronics involved in the board, the bindings, its durability, the overall quality, and that's it. Let's get started. So, customer service. So Mr. Momentumboards has been great from the beginning. When I first reached out to him on this board, he was dealing with me the entire time. He took the time to reach out to me and give me the update on the status of the build, and if he was waiting on anything. He would send me pictures to tease me. I mean, it was a great experience. Even afterwards, you know, he stayed in touch with me, and he's asked me how the board is, and asked me if I've had any issues, and it's been a great board. You know, it's just been great. If you ever had to deal with Steve Rogers is what he goes by on social media, but if you ever had to deal with Mr. Momentum, he's a great guy. You'll like him. So let's talk about the most common questions that I get. The chain drive. Okay, so it's chain driven. It's gonna be louder, of course, than say a belt driven or a hub motor or anything like that. You know, you have a trade-off. Okay, so you have belt drive, you allow for flex, you allow for slippage, you have belts, you know, they wear out, they get hot, they stretch. Once they slip, you decrease the life of them. You know, these things, I have literally had to lock the brakes up on this thing before, and it is no problem. The stopping, when you need to stop, you're gonna stop. You're not gonna have to worry about going down a hill and you can't stop because the belt's slipping or the tension on the belt is too loose. It's there. The torque is instantaneous. You don't have to worry about any slippage. The noise, it's a little louder, but it's kind of a good thing too, because if you're in a crowded place, I mean, people are gonna hear you. They're gonna get out of your way. They're gonna look back and see what the noise is. They do have a tensioner on them. This little wheel right here is it's made out of TPU. It's 3D printed off of TPU, and it sits on some roller bearings, and you can adjust the tension on it. And it's TPU, so it's flexible, so it absorbs some of the give. You should have a little bit of slack in your chain, about a 1/4 inch of play, I think it says on his website. But I could probably adjust mine. If you get excessive noise out of your chain when you're riding the board, then probably need to adjust it or tighten it or see where you're at for the tension, at least anyway. That's probably the biggest question I get is, you know, why chain? You know, how loud is it? I like it. I don't think I'd want to go back to a belt driven board again. I like it. The fact that, you know, the first time I locked up the brakes on it, I was amazed. There's literally no slippage ever. The motor mounts. Okay, so he designs these motor mounts. They are, let's see if I can get a picture here. That's like a bulletproof glass or Lexan and carbon fiber. It's 2-piece. It's a good looking mount. It's stiff. I mean, he designs all this stuff. He cuts it. He does everything himself. It's got the hollow carbon fiber tubes with like all thread inside, and you can tighten. You got nuts on. You got nuts on here with these little 3D printed caps that you can turn. He makes a little tool so you can loosen those up. I haven't had any issues with the mount. It's solid. There's no play. It hasn't come loose. I'm very impressed with this. It's lightweight. These enclosures right here, they are 3D printed for now, I believe, but they're printed out of something. It's not PLA. It might be like nylon or PETG, but I've had this board flip over on me twice already, and the only thing it's done is chew up this top section right here. Nothing's cracked on it. Nothing's broken on it. It's a good quality print. I dig it. The battery enclosures are also 3D printed. Let me see if I can get you a picture here. Let me flip this upside down or to the side. Okay, so his these are his enclosures for his batteries. So they're 3D printed. My setup right now on this board is a 10 cell 4P, and it's I chose. I was being impatient with the batteries, so I had him use I think they're the Samsung 25R cells. So I think my total capacity for this is about 8,000 milliamp hour, and that brings me to my next topic here. That this board can take me upwards of 12 and a half miles on a single charge, and I'm in no means a small guy. I'm 6 foot, 230 pounds, so this thing can carry me with big pneumatic 8-inch tires on a 8,000 milliamp hour 10 cell battery for 12 miles. That's impressive. The electronics he's running, I'm not sure about the motors, the brand, but they are the 6354 censored motors, running the dual or individual VESCs for the speed controllers. I think they're 50 amp. It's a lot of, they put out a lot of power. I don't have any complaints with the power, the torque. It's insane. I mean, I'm a big guy, like I've already said, and this thing will scare me. It's so quick and torquey. The trucks, they're made by MBS. They're, I think, out of Colorado. They're the ATS 12 trucks. Let me flip it back on its side. The ATS 12 trucks. Good looking trucks. They're aluminum, cast aluminum. I've never had any issues with them. The tension feels good for the bushings. I like them. They're good. You can see the sprockets there that he machines out the holes to adapt them to fit with these MBS wheels, the 2-piece wheels. And yeah, it's a good solid setup for someone who's looking to get into it, looking for an AT board. The price point on the Trailblazer board, I think, is let me look on his website here. Let's see. So the Trailblazer board, $16.99. I don't know if that's including shipping or not, but $16.99, and I want to say that's the price of like a boosted board, a street board. But with these, you don't have to worry about transitions in the road, rocks, debris, sticks. You can go on grass, gravel. I've taken this thing on so many gravel rides, and probably places you shouldn't have gone with these things, at least me. But it's been amazing. I probably have you know, 100 miles on this board already. I've had it for a month and a half, and it's been great. The bindings on mine, they're just MBS. They're the cloth type. They're real thick. I mean, this stuff's like heavy duty. I don't even know what it's made out of, but it's some kind of woven mesh type cloth, and it's got some foam, so it keeps its shape. I mean, you could try and smash them down, but it keeps its shape pretty good. I haven't had any issues with these. I was skeptical on having bindings on a skateboard to begin with, because, you know, if you have to bail, you know, you got to think now about how you're gonna bail and get off the board if something goes wrong. Now you got to slip your feet out. But like I said, I was skeptical. Now I could not imagine riding a board, let alone this AT board, without bindings. One thing I do want to do though, I would like to upgrade these to the MBS F5 bindings. They're the ratchet style, and they have some leather, some foam. They look nice. They have plastic mounts, red angle mounts here on the board. They're adjustable. They have quick releases for the ratcheting mechanism. They look pretty cool. I mean, it's not a necessity, but it's something I am looking at upgrading here later on. These are fine. I think these come with the boards anyway. I mean, they do what they're supposed to do. The durability on this thing is I've like I said, I've had this thing flip over on me twice because of my own mistake, you know, bumping the throttle when I'm off the board, or having somebody ride it and you know, they do the same thing, or they've had to bail and it hits something and flips over. But I've not had anything break. The only damage that I do have is this little cosmetic thing right here where the antenna poked out. Had like a little nipple on it, and with some heat shrink to hold the antenna, but that kind of rubbed off. It's not broken or anything, it just rubbed off. I could probably order another enclosure for it, but I'm happy with it the way it is. I'm sure I'm gonna bash it up even more later on. The tires, I'm putting I think these tires say you can go to 50 psi. I think right now I have 40 psi in it. It feels good. It's so smooth on the road. It's crazy. I don't think I'd ever really want to ride on a board with polyurethane wheels or anything like that. I mean, your feet with those things, they get so tired. You can feel all the vibrations. This thing is just so smooth. It feels like you're riding on a cloud. I think I mentioned that he's in San Antonio, Texas. So you know, South Central United States. I mean, who else has these for this price in the United States? I mean, I know I've seen some other ones online that I've even thought about getting, but the price point stirs me away. This board does everything that those boards can do, you know, at a much better price. His enclosure has he includes a cooling fan in here, a battery capacity indicator. The receiver is, I think it's just a generic nano receiver. I think I've seen them on like Amazon and stuff like that. It does what it's supposed to do. It's not fancy. It's not a $250, you know, remote and receiver combo. It doesn't have a screen on it or anything. It's just a simple remote. It works as it should. All right, so this is the remote. It's just a little nano remote. It does what it's supposed to do. You got your power switch down here. It's got a setting switch on the side here, but I don't use reverse. I just use brake on this thing. Fits in my hand good. When you fire it up, let me show you what. Alright, so you got the cooling fan. I don't know if you can hear it. You get your indicator right there, if I can keep the glare off. Get good airflow. I got the air, it's drawing in from the fan, and it's pushing the air out through these vents, and you can feel the air. I mean, it's legit. It comes with the charger, 42 volt charger, pretty standard. It's 2 amp, I think, on this one. The charge time for me, you know, I've had it completely discharged when I went on that, when I got about 12 and a half miles on it. And it took a little while to charge. It probably took, you know, 2.5, 3 hours, 3.5 hours to charge. I wasn't really paying attention too much to how long it took. But there's other chargers out there that you can get. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna start selling higher current chargers, 4 amp, 5 amp, something like that. But I mean, it's a good board. If anyone's on the fence about getting one, reach out to him. Steve Rogers is his name on Facebook. Momentumboards. Check out his website. Reddit. He's got some articles on there on Reddit, or at least I've seen some from that people have posted. I'm going to throw in a little clip of me riding this board recently with the audio for the motors and the chain drive for you, just so you can get an idea. I mean, keep in mind that my tension does need adjusted, so they are a little bit more noisy than they normally are. I haven't ever lubricated this chain yet, or the chains, so, but you can see. Let me get you in on the tension here. So that's way too much slack on the chain. I'm gonna have to adjust that, but I mean, you get the idea. It's a good board. The deck is also from MBS. It didn't come red. I'm not sure what color it was when he got it, but he painted red. I wanted a Deadpool themed board, so red and black. He definitely took his time building this thing, and it's really shown. I've been impressed with it, and I wanted to get the word out. I wanted someone to see the board up close and see what it's all about. One more thing, the headlights I have on here, I kind of just, this is one headlamp that I have for work. I can pivot it like that. This one I just kind of threw on there just because this one is a little bike light. It kind of just wraps around the trucks here with the little bungee silicone case that it comes with. I have this one up front, and I have a red one for a taillight in the back. And the taillight one's pretty good. I like it. Flashes. You got solid. And it's nice. You can see it at night. It's perfect. I mean, it's all you need for a taillight. I don't know what else to say, guys. I don't work for the company. I'm not being paid to do this. I paid for the board. It wasn't given to me. I'm just very impressed with the quality, the durability, and the price. I mean, show me another board that has VESC powered, for the ESCs, big motors, sensored motors, a cooling fan built in with a custom built BMS protected 10 cell 4P battery for the price that he's selling these things at. It's pretty crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna put a video here right after this and check it out, see what you guys think, and like, subscribe if you want. Appreciate you checking it out. Thanks.